I just gave only a sample. You can find plenty of them in Mahabharata, Ramayana, everywhere you will find. Wherever you read, you will find. And the importance of Dhanam is so nicely established in the Indian context. Therefore, the question is why and what is this Dhanam? How has Sanatana Dharma taken a position in terms of what is Dhanam? That is the next question that we have. So now we will come back to this question that Indians are not giving enough. So this is the same paper cutting which I showed earlier. When the scriptures are saying so much, when our Dharma Shastras, our Puranas, our Itihasas, our Shruti, our entire repository is celebrating Dhanam, here is Warren Buffett coming and saying Indians are not giving enough. There seems to be a problem. There seems to be a sort of a mismatch. So one of my colleague at IIM Bangalore, he retired a few years back, Professor R. Vaidyanathan, he wrote on the same day evening, he wrote another article. And anyway, what you see here is only a sort of a portion of it. But essentially what he said was, he told to Warren Buffett, you first learn Hindu ethos. You have no idea. You first get educated about Hindu ethos, because there is a way we do dana, which you do not know. That is why you are telling all these kinds. It's a nice article he wrote. He said, let Warren Buffett know about the mechanics of giving and dhanam and so on. So the point is, the Westerners are coming and telling us you are not giving enough, whereas our Sanatana Dharma says we must give enough. And if you lived in a village, I have spent a good amount of time in village in my formative years. First 10, 12 years I was in a village only, in a small, small little town panchayat. So I understand what dhanam is, because that's how we lived. That's how we lived in that place. And I think even when I go, I see all that. I'll give you a simple example. In our street, we have about 120 houses, 2 rows, 120 houses. There is a simple practice. We all had only some little bit of agricultural land, and so little bit paddy and tur dal, something they will do, or it can be jackfruit and mango. That's all. But in every house, what we do is we contribute either rice or cash, and so these 100 every month, and these 135 houses put that money together, and the 135 houses actually elect a dharmakarta for the street. We have a chowltree in the street. These are all very common in many villages. That's why I'm saying there's a chowltree in the village, in the same street. So depending upon this collection, we know that every day we can feed about 50 people. That's a estimate that you can make depending on how much rice is pledged and how much money is given for other things and so on. So we cook to the extent of 50 people in that chowltree. And the Dharmakarta's house, he has a numbered token 1 to 50. So anybody comes, I remember as a small boy, people used to ask me, will we get food here? I used to tell him, go to that house. You go and ask. So if they still have cards, they'll give the card. If 3 people have come, card 23, 24, 25. So these people will take the card and go to the chowltree, and then they will be fed. It's a year long. This is only one. During our car festival, you do not know what kind of dana that happens. So the question is, where are we missing, and what is happening? Because today many of us don't even understand what Sanatana Dharma talks about dhanam. So let us first get that piece correct. So there is a very important difference between the Western perspective and Sanatana Dharma perspective. If you understand it, most of the issues are understood. That's why I have brought, and this is from a paper which I found in the Infinity Foundation. I just downloaded and I was reading it. It's a nice paper from which I have culled out this material. Now, what is dhanam? As per Sanatana Dharma, it is an action of relinquishing the ownership of what one considered as one's own. Dhanam is not, whereas the Western perspective, you read the equivalent bullet on the right side. The Western perspective is, dhanam means you have to do good to some person. There is some person who needs help. In Kannada they say Papa, poor chap, we need to help him. So there is a force of gravity. You have to be at a higher pedestal. You are great. You are you are endowed with wealth and all that, or knowledge or whatever. Here is a poor chap. So you have to develop sympathy. So there is a force of gravity. So you have to give. It is the very idea of giving in the West is to do good to another person, whereas we don't have that perspective. Our perspective is dhanam means if I possess something, that's why Indraya idam namama, Prajapataya idam namama. Even when you give dakshina to the Vadyar, we say namama. Idam imam dakshinam sauvarnam dakshinam, all that we'll say, and nama we'll give it namama. Sampratate namama. It is given to you, it is not mine. So it is an act of relinquishing the ownership of what one considered as one's own. These are all deep psychological constructs, by the way. I want you to think through it slowly. In 15 minutes, I cannot bring the entire. You have to understand there is a deep psychological construct here, and they are very different between Western and the Sanatana Dharma. Second is equally important. Investing the same. First, I relinquish. It can be Swarna Dana, it can be a Patra Dana, it can be a bag of rice, it can be food, whatever. First, you relinquish the ownership. The second is invest the same in a recipient without expecting any return. That is the manobhava of Sanatana Dharma Dana. Whereas in the Western perspective, the whole activity, the mind, the mental process is, here is somebody who needs some help. I am engaged in to relieve the other person's state of need. I mean, all these will build a lot of ahankar. First two bullets on the Western side makes you feel you are very great, you have a lot of wealth, so you can help. That feeling is very strong in you. That is what can happen. Okay. Then the third perspective, abnegation of wealth, abnegation of all things, even the abnegation of the self. So you have to really say no. Whereas in the Western perspective, dhanam is like any other thing in which it is looked at as a cost to the donor or benefactor, at another criteria, and it is also considered as a pro-social behavior and all that. Whereas here it is a pure act of a possibility of relinquishing ownership, investing it in somebody and taking everything in your hands and take na mama, take it everything. So in other words, in the Sanatana Dharma, relinquishing ownership is actually dhanam, actually means giving up, not giving. It is giving up. There is a huge difference between the word giving and giving up. In Sanatana Dharma, it is actually giving up. Whereas in the Western construct, relinquishing ownership is not at all highlighted. It is only giving. The up is not there. In India, you have to take it out of your mind, and invest it on the recipient and forget it forever. So therefore, the last bullet follows. The last bullet says, reciprocity of gifts actually is not a virtue. If you give to someone, in return, if they give something, the whole thing becomes vyartha. Whereas today we are so much, bothered with this Western concept called return gift. You call people for a party, so you give them all some gift, and then they all have to give you a return. You have to give a return gift. This is a Western construct. So in a Western construct, it is all cost benefit. Benefit may flow immediately. Benefit may flow a little later. It's all a pro-social behavior. Somebody is bad, we have to help. In India, when you give dana, you never think somebody is bad. You never think somebody needs to be helped. I mean, they're all very incidental. It is actually a genuine act of, I have something, I have to give up. So giving up without expecting anything in return, therefore reciprocity of gifts is not at all a virtue. In fact, people, even people who know Sanatana Dharma, they actually resist it also so vehemently sometimes. Okay. So whereas in the Western concept, if you help, you have to be helped. Otherwise, it is uncivilized behavior. You are not a good person. They think, what is happening? You know, I helped him, he doesn't even give a return gift. All that is that. I mean, today, these are all have become a very commonplace discussion for us also, because we don't know Sanatana Dharma. Our understanding is largely Western. So reciprocation of a favor that has been accepted is a definite requirement on the part of the recipient in the Western concept of giving. So the Dhanam in the Western concept requires a reciprocity, whereas Dhanam, the Indian concept, it is not at all identified, it is not indicated, it is not encouraged, and it is not welcome also. So these are very important differences between the Indian concept of Dhanam. And lastly, I haven't written here, Professor Vaidyanathan talked about it. Professor Vaidyanathan said to Warren Buffett that in our concept, we will give and we will not tell. If we tell I have given, that is gone. It's all gone, vyartha. So in that article he wrote, you don't even know what Indians give. You people give and then, you know, put a banner, and I mean, you may be giving with a good intention and all that, but nevertheless, for you have to, you know, publicize it, make it known, available, because of all the reasons on this side that you see on the Western perspective. Indians give and they don't even say. A good dhanam is one in which the donor doesn't even identify himself. He requests the recipient, please don't publicize. So Professor Vaidyanathan said, you don't know how much is being given. You are working with data that you have, which is not even tip of the iceberg. That was the answer he gave. So we have come from a very different perspective, and it is an essential part of our living. So actually, if you carefully read our scriptures, Shruti and Smritis and all these granthas, you will find that giving is one of our core values. You know, this comes in Siksha Valli. Say Shraddhaya Deyam, Ashraddhaya Deyam, Shriya Deyam, Kriya Deyam, Bhiya Deyam, Sambhida Deyam, Atayadi Editeva Visikiswa Vasyat, Etatra Brahmana Asam Marshina, like that it goes. So it says Shraddhaya Deyam, give with reference, Ashraddhaya Adeyam. The negative is also indicated. Do not give with irreverence. Shraddhaya Deyam, Ashraddhaya Adeyam, Shriya Deyam. There must be abundance when you give. You should give very liberally. Shriya Deyam. Then Hriya Deyam. Hriya is a certain kind of sankocha. There is a certain kind of sensitivity with which you should give, that you are not hurting the recipient in any ways. You don't give an impression that, you know, you have to help him and that can, you know, make him feel bad and so on. So the Hri is very important. Biyadeyam, you should have fear. Fear meaning, have I given enough? Have I given very appropriately? Have I given at the right time? All that is, you know, the fear that we talk about. Sambhida Deyam, give it with a lot of you know, friendliness, make this whole atmosphere so nice, is what the Guru is actually telling as part of his convocation address in Taittiriya Upanishad. So giving is our core value in this culture, and we have to follow these kinds of principles for giving. So if you really ask, there are some important aspects of this dhanam. First of all, Sanatana Dharma has indicated any number of possibilities. You know, Annadanam, Kanya Danam, Vidya Danam. You know, you can give Sasya Danam, Swarna Danam, Rajata Danam, Go Danam, Bhu Danam. I put a dot, dot, dot. You know, Patra Danam. You know, actually, if you look at some of our rituals very closely, you will find Dashadanam they will do, Panchadanam, Dashadanam, so many things. They'll give book, they will give a hand fan, they will give a walking stick, they will give a bed, they will give water in a copper vessel, so many things. So there are numerous possibilities indicated in terms of what we can. So there is no dearth of what needs to be given. You can give cash also. Swarnam and Rajata is only indication of cash, and go Danam means again indication of wealth. Wealth can be shared. Then And how is it sort of built into our system? It is a part of all religious and social rituals that we do. You do a religious function, you do a kamya karma, nishkamya karma, nimitta karma, naimittika karma, nitya karma. Everywhere you will find there will be this dana. It is indicated in everything that we do. And as I told you, it is an integral part of the yajna also. So any ritual, from now on, you should actually follow. If you call a Purohit at home, don't keep on chatting with the people and socialize. Sit near the Purohit and find out what he is saying. A lot of meaningful things that he is saying. So, there is a structure with which the rituals are done. And you will find dana will be a very integral component of it, because that joy of giving and spreading the wealth to others is a friend for us in this janma and paraloka also, as we already saw it. So its role and relationship is again well indicated. And if you closely follow any of the rituals, social rituals, religious functions, yajna, everywhere you will find dana is indicated. And perspectives on dhanam, it is at the end of it, it is considered as an offering to God. That is the core spirit of this dana. That's why Professor Vaidyanathan said that you may not know who is giving what and where, because it is Bhiya Deyam, Hriya Deyam, Samvida Deyam, and all that. So we see that it's an opportunity as an offering to God. And so that is why this notion of the Daridra Narayana and so on. Actually, you should go to villages and see. In the month of, I have seen it in Tamil Nadu. I am from Tamil Nadu, so my exposure as a village is only in Tamil Nadu. But I know that these practices are throughout the India, because Sanatana Dharma is tying this country in all these practices. In my village, I remember, come March, end of March, there are people in our, that 132 houses that I am talking about, there are people in our village who set up what is called pandal. They put a nice resting place and put a huge jug, and they constantly fill it with buttermilk. And in the main road, by the way, it is not in the one, they will put it in the street, one they will put it in another street, one they will put it on the main road in somewhere near the shopping complex, whatever small little shops there, and they keep on filling it for 2 months. It will run. They will actually have that kind of a thing. They will do, a few people will do. And I do not know how many of you have seen in villages, you will find a sloping stone. There are people who actually plant sloping stones which are sloping. Do you know why it is done? It is Shramadhanam. Whatever weight they are carrying on the head, they will rest it. It's a resting place. They keep the that head, whatever weight they are carrying, they keep it on that stone, and near that they will set up a buttermilk stall also. So they will have a little bit of buttermilk, maybe wait there for a while, and then pick that up and go. So like this, there are plenty of yata shakti, yata saukaryam. People from the lowest echelon in the society to the highest echelon in the society, everybody does dhanam. Whereas it doesn't mean that if you are poor you cannot do dhanam. You can do, and you decide what you want to do. Rich man can do, the scale and scope can change, the spirit cannot change. That is Sanatana Dharma perspective on, because everybody thinks dhanam is an offering to God. That is the position that they take. So I will actually end with this shloka from Chanakya Niti. What it says, just see what it says. It says, Kshiyante sarvadanani yajnahoma balikriyaha na kshiyate patradanam abhayam sarvadehinam. He says, all that we do in yajna and homa and bali, kshiyante meaning if you give material dana, meaning you give patra, you give swarna, you give godana, everything is perishable. Basically what he's saying is there are certain dana which are perishable, but nakshiyate patra danam, right? Abhayam sarvadehinam. So if you give that which is for a very deserving person, it makes a huge difference. It stays there forever. That's why in Bhagavad Gita, there is Satvika Dana, Tamasika and Rajasika Dana. So Dhatavyam iti yaddiyate taddanam Satvikam Smritam. That's what he says. Whereas if you look at Tamasika Dana, he says Dhanam which is given Akala and Apatra, given at an inappropriate time at an inappropriate place. That is called Tamasic Dana. Whereas Dhatavyam iti diyate taddiyam Satvikam Smritam, at a correct time, the Desha and Kala and all that. So that's what he says. The patra and the kala are very, very important. Santoshas trishu kartavyah sodare bhojane dane trishu chaivana kartavyah adyayane japadhanayoho. So very nice shloka. It says with respect to spouse strishu sodare bhojane and dane. With respect to the spouse and food that we eat and the wealth that we acquire, in these you should have a alambhava. At some point you say enough, that's okay. Should not go after it too much because that will destroy your character. Whereas trishuchaiva na kartavyah, whereas there are three things in which you should never feel satisfied. Always you should feel I have to do more and more. And what are those? Adhyayana, japa and dana. That's what Chanakya says. When it comes to giving, that is what he's saying. You give to deserving person. You give to you keep improving your knowledge. Do a lot of japa and tapas and so on. Those you never feel enough. Keep on doing it. So like this, there are so many references. There are so many multiple perspectives on dhanam. And they have a very different perspective with respect to the current understanding of gift that we seem to practice, which largely flows from the Western thinking of which we are well aware of and practicing to an extent and so on. So with this, I just wanted to give a little sense of dhanam.